All right, let's call the meeting to order at 6:30. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Masek,
Here.
trustee Bluthart,
Here.
trustee McNeil. Here. Trustee Martinez,
Here.
trustee Pierce is absent, trustee Peterson,
Present.
Mayor Gardner.
Present. I gotta get used to this, so I'm not yelling at you guys. The first is the mayoral report. So again, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the first meeting in our new village hall. This is obviously a big occasion for all of us here on the board and staff and the contractors and the trustees and prior trustees and mayors who worked so hard to get us to this point. So I'm glad we made it to the 21st century with all this technology here. Again, this is it's a big night for us because we had, I think this board 4 years ago, 3 big projects that we were looking to get accomplished. The trifecta of the park, the village hall, and the public works. And I'm happy to say we've got 2 or 3 done. And number 3, the most urgent one, we'll be celebrating that next year. So again, I want to thank all of you for coming out and trusting in us. It's really not to be cheesy, but the people's house. It's your building as a resident. So I hope you enjoy it and are proud of it. And again, thank you for coming, and thank you to all those that worked so hard and put up with me over the last couple of years trying to get this project done, and the board for approving it and making it happen. So thank you. And with that, we have a couple of new officers that are being sworn in tonight. We have the oath of office for Officer Matthew Hart. Chief Gutchow.
Have Matt and Logan join us up front, please. It's the time to sweat, boys, in front of everybody.
So just since you called them both up, the other officer is Officer Logan Lauterbach.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. So thank you, Mayor, trustees, and members of the community. One of my most important responsibilities as Chief of Police is ensuring that the men and women who serve Antioch reflect the very best of our mission and values. We hold ourselves to the highest standards because our community deserves nothing less. Tonight, I'm honored to introduce 2 new police officers who embody both of all these expectations: Officer Logan Lauterbach and Officer Matthew Hart. Both Logan and Matthew joined our department this spring and graduated from the Swick Police Academy on September 5th. The academy provides the foundation every officer needs, but the next stage is just important. They are now both in our field training program, where the lessons learned in the classroom are applied to real-world policing. This program is guided by our field training officers who bring years of knowledge, skill, and experience, who are ready to pass that on to the next generation. It is through this process that new officers truly grow into the role of protecting and serving their community. Logan may already be a familiar face to many of you. He began with our department in April of 2024 as a community service officer, and served in that role for a year before being hired as a police officer this past spring. His dedication, work ethic, and positive attitude had already left a mark on our team, and I'm excited to see him continue to grow in this next stage of his career. Matthew comes to us from the U.S. National Guard, where he continues to serve as a military police sergeant. He brings valuable experience in public safety and also holds a degree in criminal justice from the University of South Carolina upstate. He is eager to become part of this community and is committed to making a difference here in Antioch. Joining Logan this evening are his parents, Lori and Jason, his sister, Laken, and his girlfriend, Cassie, who will have the honor of pinning his badge this evening. Matthew is joined tonight by his wife, Michelle, who will also have the honor of pinning his badge, and I would invite them to come up front to join us. Mayor, trustees, and members of the Antioch community, please join me in officially welcoming Officers Lauterbach and Hart into the Antioch Police Department family. I'm proud to introduce them to you and our community tonight, and even prouder to stand alongside them as they begin their careers of service to our community. And with that, I would invite the clerk to administer oaths of office. Way to step up, Logan.
I, Matthew Hart, having been appointed as patrol officer of the Village of Antioch Police Department in the County of Lake,
do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of patrol officer to the best of my ability. I, Logan Lauterbach, having been appointed as patrol officer of the Village of Antioch Police Department in the County of Lake, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of patrol officer to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, Wise.
Clap, clap, clap.
Survived, you survived.
Right. All right, thank you. I did, in my haste of getting to the mayoral report, I did want to note that one of our trustees, trustee Masek, is on Zoom tonight participating, and we wish him well after his recent back surgery. So next we have citizens wishing to address the board. The sheet's over there. All right, this is all new. We need. Yeah. Yeah. We didn't have, I believe it was yesterday and today, but I did not also, I did sit on Facebook, but a happy Rosh Hashanah to those that are celebrating. I believe that's happening.
We'll stop.
Might be ending tonight. Mr. Mayor. Thank you. Oh, of course.
You better say
Yeah,
it.
so the rules, for those of you that don't know, it's 3 minutes. Be respectful. Addressing the board will not respond to questions or comments, but we appreciate you coming to speak to the board. So without further ado, Madam Clerk.
Ainsley Kimberly.
I had a hunch. I love all the new toys and congratulations. And I'm here on behalf of the Lakes Region Historical Society, and we brought you your first housewarming gift.
Very nice. All right. Okay, if I can come on out. All right, yeah.
I didn't make this too difficult.
Okay, sorry. All right, so. Well, I've been asking, when are we getting our artwork in this place? It looks like
It started. You don't know that.
Yeah.
They may need to be tweaked,
Oh.
so,
Oh. Ah.
they're beautiful.
We have a couple photographs, so why we need to.
1907,
7.
they're both from 1907.
Oh, they're beautiful.
From the top of the, water tower.
Very nice.
Were
Built in 1907.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, definitely.
Someone call Bob Rector to go come hang me.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't frame them, because I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Mayor.
Yeah. Here, I'll put it back.
Yeah, we don't understand. All right, thank you. All right, yes, thank you, perfect.
So cool.
All right, who's bringing the next gifts up? Who's next?
John.
Thank you, board. Appreciate it. And this building is lovely. So congratulations. My name is John Milner, and I'm here on behalf of the Lake County Young Republicans, here to express our gratitude to the community of Antioch for allowing us to host a candlelight vigil in honor of Charlie Kirk this past weekend at Sequoia Creek Park in downtown Antioch. Following his passing, many members of the community wanted to join together to honor his light, and you allowed us to foster that, and we wanted to thank you. The event itself was beautiful, and the support from the community was overwhelming. And we'd like to just personally thank the Park District, the police officers who ensured our safety in securing the perimeter, the village, the township, and all the elected officials who attended, and the community at large. So thank you for your support. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mary Dominion.
I don't know how to work the clock yet.
Anyway, good evening, everybody. First of all, what great building. It's wonderful to see a dream turn into a reality. And can't wait for Public Works. I mentioned to Dennis, I saw the trailer the other day and can't wait for that ribbon cutting so I can see that you have more than one bathroom. My other reason for standing up here is I also wanted to thank you for making AHA one of the recipients of the charity collections at the concerts. That was really kind of you, and people are very generous. It was great. The other thing is, and I didn't know this was on the agenda, but I see that when you get to the next meeting, you're going to be talking about pouring licenses for gas stations. And I know you've looked at this before. And I'm kind of surprised that it's back on the agenda. I don't think we want Antioch to become a place where anybody can go into any place and buy liquor and game. When the gaming ordinance was passed, we worked very hard to make sure that you had to have a food, you had to have an atmosphere where you're not just there for gaming. And, you know, for the most part, that's held up. I know we now have at least one, if not two gaming lounges that really were not the spirit of that ordinance when we passed it. But, you know, this is a state and county issue, and maybe you can be better served by working with the owners of the gas stations to try and change the taxing that's going on our gas stations, particularly at the border, and maybe getting together with other communities that are facing the same issues. I also want to caution you that there are a lot of businesses in this town that are really businesses that held on during COVID. They put their heart and soul, and what can you be doing for them so that they can be protected, that the reason that people come into Antioch for dining, for experiences, for shopping is protected. So I would urge you not to vote to give a pouring license to a gas station, and hope that you'll also spend some time in the future working with the business owners on Main Street and Lake Street that are really struggling in this economy, and maybe think of some ways to help them. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. I have two items on the consent agenda. Is there any request to remove either of those items from the consent agenda? All right, if not, a motion in a second. We'll move. Motion trustee Bluthart,
Second.
second trustee Peterson. Roll call, please.
Mason,
Yes.
Luther,
Yes.
McNeil,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Voting yes, motion carries. Next is the item number 3, regular business consideration and approval of payments of accounts payable as prepared by staff in the amount of $635,281.74. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Motion trustee Peterson,
Second.
second trustee Bluthart. Any discussion on that? If not, roll call, please.
Mason,
Yes.
Luther,
Yes.
McNeil,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
5 voting yes, motion carries. All right, on to the administrators' reports.
Just a very brief report for this evening. So the administrative team continues to work with the marketplace developers on a redevelopment agreement. We recently received their red line version of the term sheet. So mayor, the administrative team, and the attorney are currently working on that to develop the next response to that. So the project continues to move forward, albeit there is a number of items that we continue to have to work through with them. Clublands Phase 4 continues to advance. They have been in the process of beginning to submit permits. We've had our kickoff meeting with HR Green to work through some of the inspection services that they are going to provide. And we should start seeing permits and work starting in that project in the near future. And then just of note, we did receive notice from Groot, our community waste hauler, that in alignment with the terms of their contract, they did see a overall 3.9% increase in their costs. Our current agreement with them caps their ability to increase service costs to 3%. So they have notified us that as of October 1st, they will be imposing that 3% increase. And just to bring some perspective to it, currently regular curbside service costs $19.79. That will be going up to $20.38. So 3% overall, it's a relatively modest increase. And in looking what other communities are seeing with their waste haulers, it's very in line with what other providers are imposing on the communities. And then just lastly, as you know, along with a number of the trustees, the assistant administrator and myself, and were able to attend IML this past week. It was a great experience, not only for the continuing education that we were able to attend, but also for the tremendous amount of networking. Able to ask a lot of questions of what other communities are experiencing and how navigating some of the challenges. I did learn, as the redevelopment of the current village hall becomes a point of discussion with the board on what the vision of that will be. That really does seem to be the trend. A lot of communities are struggling with how they want to address the demands for higher density housing. But there was a lot of discussions as well as how that interrelates with economic development opportunities, and speaking with a number of economic development directors from throughout the state. Really one of the first questions that are asked of them when a new business is looking to locate is they're asking for the number of rooftops in the community, not only existing, but what the growth path looks like and how many rooftops they will see in the 1, 5, and 10-year range. So I think as the village continues to work towards some growth in our business community, I think it's going to be important for us to have some of those discussions related to how our downtown develops and some of these current vacant parcels are redeveloped under whatever the vision of the village board may be at the time. So with that, I'll conclude my report, and I'd be happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Questions? I gotta use that echo. All right, thank you. Clerk,
Speaking of Groot, leaf vacuuming is scheduled to begin November 3rd through the 28th. So residents are asked to rake their leaves within 3 feet of the curb, not in ditches. Just a reminder that the program is weather dependent, so there are not specific pickup days. If it's raining or if the vacuum truck cannot pick up the leaves, it will be delayed, but they will do 4 full passes throughout the village.
every year I get PTSD when you make that announcement, because that's the most complaints I get all year is when they don't pick up the leaves and they blow away. So, all right, it's that time of the year already. Thank you. Any trustee reports? Trustee Bluthart?
Just real quick, I wanted to echo what Administrator Gutschall said about the IML this past weekend. Once again, it was a great opportunity to mix with leaders in other communities, people on our own village board that we don't get to spend time with, and others. But I just wanted to point out that the opening ceremony or opening meeting had a guest speaker of Mike Singletary, Hall of Fame, Chicago Bear. It was an incredible speech, and I just wanted to point out, because he talked about leadership and quiet leadership and a lot of things that tie in with leadership, and he tied it into the leaders and communities around our state. And it was just a really got emotional at times, but a very good speech. And I just appreciate the opportunity to go to IML and the education portion and the exhibits, and it was just a well attended and a very good event.
Thank you. Any other trustees?
Yeah.
Yep. Trustee Martinez.
Just the same, I echo a lot of what Trustee Blumhardt had to say about the conference. I also came back with a quote that was paraphrased by the chief of police of Hazel Crest, Chief Davis, and he paraphrased the past FBI Director James Comey, and I think it really does resonate at this time with our community. As was mentioned, we had a vigil for Charlie Kirk here in Antioch, and the quote was, "It's hard to hate up close," and I hope that people walk away with that quote from James Comey. It's hard to hate up close. I'd also like to now change the topic at hand and looking to see if I could get some help here from the board. By circumstance, the Lake County Farm Bureau is offering a up to a $500 agriculture grant to any classroom that's willing to set up a project at their school with an agricultural theme. This grant is available through November 1st, and I was looking to see if we could get any assistance to reaching out to the District 34 and possibly 117. And on behalf of the board, again, I'm very grateful for the opportunity to attend the IMLF. On behalf of the board, I would like to match that $500 grant, just the same, if we could get some assistance in reaching out to District 117 and 34, that'd be great. I'd love to see that come out to our community. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. And I do see we have some young adults here. Last time they had some as well, and said they either lost a bet, got in trouble, or they're here for a class project. So thanks for coming here, and take that message back to your school and tell them we have this opportunity coming up. Any other trustee reports? All right, then I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion trustee Peterson, second trustee Bluthart, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, meeting's adjourned at 6:52. We will reconvene at 7 o'clock for the committee of the whole meeting. All right, let's call the committee of the whole meeting to order. It is 7 o'clock. Roll call, please.
Mason,
Here.
trustee Bluthart. Trustee McNeil.
Here.
Trustee Martinez.
Here.
Trustee Pierce is absent. Trustee Peterson.
Present.
Mayor Gardner.
Present. One trustee on Zoom. Nothing for the mayoral report. I'm assuming no other citizens are signed up at this time, so we'll move on to the regular business. First item is the approval of the September 10th, 2025 committee, the whole meeting minutes as presented. Do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Motion trustee Peterson,
Second.
second trustee McNeil. Roll call, please.
Mason,
Yes.
Bluthart.
Yes.
McNeil.
Yes.
Martinez.
Yes.
Peterson.
Yes.
All right, 5 voting yes, motion carries. Next item is discussion regarding a text amendment to allow pouring licenses for Class D gas station licenses. Mr. Darney and Sunny are here to present the request. I am going to have to recuse myself from this discussion. So when I leave, I believe that's the board to make a motion to appoint trustee Peterson the chair for this hearing. All right, thank you. And just
Nominate trustee Peterson as mayor pro tem, or what is the correct term?
Chairman Pro Tem.
Chairman pro tem.
Second that.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, I will call roll. Trustee Mason,
Yes.
Bluthart.
Yes.
McNeil.
Yes.
Martinez.
Yes.
Peterson.
Getting in the captain's chair.
Okay, we're gonna have discussion regarding the text amendment to allow a pouring license for Class D gas station licenses. Discussion,
Let the two speak if they want to.
trustee Masek.
Why don't we let them speak if they want to speak first?
Okay, we can do that? Just state your name for the
Yes,
record.
my name is M. Thorney. I have a gas station over here on a Main Street, Shell gas station. And in 2019, State of Illinois passed extensive gas tax. Because of that, we lost 60-70% of our revenue on and gas volume. So I submitted to you my financial, my volumes, how much I have decreased in volume. I even written to state governor. So because of their policies, local businesses are getting hurt. They should think before doing anything like that. So they do all these policies, they should do some like more thought process before implementing it. And so we need help from the village if they can allow a pouring license so we can have a gaming. So that will help the village in tax revenue. That will also help local businesses like us and the gas stations to build up some revenue that we have lost.
Thank you.
Hello, board. My name is Sunny Judge. We have station at 59 and 173. I do congratulate you guys for new building. Looks good. Everything good. Very nice and up to date.
Thank you.
So, like Sam explained, these are I gave the booklets to everybody. This is my gallons looks like versus today in 2018. I mean, this is just not just minor thing that I'm losing volume. Our expenses went up because of payroll went up, insurance went up, property tax went up, utilities going up. On top of this, I included these are legal documents which explains, what my 2024 gallons, how much tax we are paying, right? So you guys can see 2025 versus 2018. Very first page is not like the legal document, it's our Excel sheet because I couldn't find one. But other pages are legal documents where it shows how many gallons we used to do in 2018 and how many gallons we're doing in 2025. The other gas station coming up north, it's really sucking up more volume from us because before the other two stations, Citgo and BP, used to have lines of people getting gas and people were waiting. And now there's third gas station, the lines got, it's more open, more pumps. So now more and more people go on across the border and buying gas, and we're losing more and more gallons. And it's with the construction, it doesn't help either. But the other thing is really coming up to us. State passed the rule in 2018. They gave us 10 years to become like, they did this in Wisconsin. Now Illinois is following it and Indiana is already there. By 2028, we have to have under containment, under the pumps, under the sumps, where the reversible motor is, and new lines. So some stations are already updated. Most stations are not, and not every station is gonna make after 2028. October 2028, if we don't update our location, we're gonna be red tagged. And for that cost, I have the report here. There's only 3 or 4 vendors who's gonna do this kind of job, and this is gonna cost me $582,000 as of right now. If I get a quote next year, it could be 10-15% more. Tariff and construction costs going up is not helping us. I don't want to wait till 2028 because of there's only like 3 or 4 vendors, like I said. Top are like 2 or 3. Graham is using this company and we trust them. They're high, but their work is good. And we want to make sure that even if it costs us more, we want to get the quality job done because of our environment. We don't want to hire somebody who's going to cost us less, but not going to do quality work. And this work, 582,000, is not going to be shown to, like, you won't even see that we did something because this is underground. And we're reinvesting in town. In 2019, when our gallons were doing good, like this first column right here, we thought we need more pumps. And we reinvested, bought property next door. And it just happened to be July 1st, 2019, gas tax went up. and our closing was on August of 2019. But still, we bought the property and we were thinking to remodel and everything and maybe get more volume pumped. But volumes are going down, so we have right there, we reinvested basically in town, and we were hoping to reinvest more, building a bigger gas station, but then we put a pause. Then COVID came, our gallons lost because everybody started working home, and now in a reality, our gallons are going to Wisconsin. I just want to explain to the village board that there's like one, two, three eyesores in town. One is North Avenue. One is right by the old village hall. There's one right by Limerick. These are the gas stations that used to be. If gas stations don't survive in town, there's only like 3 locations that I think could qualify for gaming and could help survive. If they don't get any help, we're gonna have more eyesores because once a gas station leaves, nobody gives you loan. You can't do anything. You can't put apartment there. You can't put any other building because nobody would lend you money because of environment reasons. I just want to be upfront and want to be loyal businessman in town. I've been here since 2004. We want to not only spend 582,000 underground, we also would like to expand our building a little bit, make it nice. I want to do the concrete. I want to do the asphalt, make it look good. And we're already started the project next door. We're making that area look good. Um, we would just like to request that, we have nowhere else to go. We can just come here and look for help that how can we improve our business? And that seems like the only way we can help keep our business running because state is not listening to us. State is not listening to the villages. Graham have multiple locations now. They have gaming, and you can literally tell whichever location have gaming, their images look good, their curb appeal look good, their customer base is bigger because they can reinvest money and keep those sites look better. There's examples of like there's BP in Wakanda. I used to live in Wakanda, and that station ran down in 2008. We tried to buy it, and somebody overbid us, and whoever bought it ran the station down. Graham bought it, and they just turned the station all around because they have gaming, they have more funds to invest. So thank you for having us, and please consider. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, discussion, trustee Masek.
Thank you. So the board has all sat and made the argument that we want to help our businesses. We want them to survive. We want all our businesses to thrive. I'm going to disagree with former trustee Dominiak. I wish he was here when we gave the third sin to Antioch Liquors when they they wanted to sell Delta 9. So they sell alcohol. They got a pour license. And now they have gaming machines in the back. We did everything because their argument was everybody's going to go to Gurnee. And this becomes without a gas station, just like Sonny did so eloquent, that you're going to have a hole in the ground if the gas stations fails, and it becomes a public safety issue. If we don't have a gas station in our town, what happens? We don't control our energy. That's the one thing that's vital is the energy, and we're starting to find it out through U.S. government, whatnot. But you can't sit there and have trustees saying, "No, I buy my gas over the line because it's 40 cents, 50 cents cheaper at times. I buy my gas from Sunny. I buy my coffee from Sunny. Um, and I go in Sam's place. So, Sam, I'm sorry, I should go in your place more than Sunny's. But the point of it being, we've had the Shell station. That's a figure that goes back Bernie's for my gosh, 50 plus years. And the other gas stations that'll never get developed, it's going to be a parking lot, if anything, the old Speedway, that corner could never get developed because there's underground tanks. And this is not what these gentlemen are asking for. This is not like when Adam came in asking to sell Delta 9, he wanted to line his pockets with more profit. These guys are doing this just to pay for the upcoming maintenance and break even. There's a big difference. And when you go from one store downtown to the lodge to the rivalry to Station 51, everybody's got the machines. I think the machines are kind of overrated, but everybody's got the machine, and it becomes the same thing as a dead tree in the road. You drive by the dead tree so many times you don't even notice it. We got to help these guys out. These both are landmarks, and you don't want to lose us, you know. And when I was, think of this: driving down the toll road, you're paying tolls, and then you're paying a gas tax of 80 plus cents, if I'm not wrong. These two can correct. It just doesn't seem fair. Illinois is gouging, and why are these people suffering when they got to do not these underground projects of $500,000 each just to do it, and we don't even know if they'll have enough money each to do it. That's up to them. But you have to give them a pour license. There's no choice but to save it. They've been coming begging and begging and begging. So I'm for giving them a pour license. We give them pour license for anybody that comes in. Now I'll bring up this since the mayor's not in the room. We've got the other building next to the liquor store, which is a black building. I don't even know what the heck it is. The rumors is it's anything from a strip parlor going to go in there to a tavern. We don't give tavern license out. So, what's going to end up with that building? So nobody's got the inclination. What do we give Adam the fourth sin? Because he owns that building. So I think we should go ahead and give these guys so they can break even, pay that $500,000 bill. Thanks, Mary.
Okay, thanks. Trustee Bluthart.
When this has been brought up in the past, I've been in favor of this, and I still am. For one primary reason, the state of Illinois is not going to fix this issue regarding gas tax, and they have it set up now where it goes up yearly, if I'm not mistaken. And my concern is exactly what they pointed out, and also Trustee Masek, is if we don't do this, we're going to have a bunch of vacant gas stations, and that will make everything we're doing to beautify downtown, the new park, everything else is just going to go down the tubes because we're going to be looking at boarded up old gas station right across the street from it. These machines are pretty much everywhere you go, in every restaurant you go. So the arguments I've heard in the past about children having access to them, they're not going to have access to them. There's access to them at every restaurant in town, pretty much. So I think we're at the point now where we're going to have to do something to help these gas station owners. And I think this is a very viable solution, and one that we could do quickly and give them the opportunity to survive in this climate that they're in. And that's all I have to say at this time.
Thank you.
Trustee McNeil.
Thank you. I was in favor of this when it came before the board the last time, and you still have my support on this issue. I know a lot of people are not in favor of it. I've listened to the arguments. I've talked to other business owners. I've talked to the community. I've really thought about it. I've done my homework, and I know it's kind of a heated issue, but I don't really see that we have a choice. I think that we have a way to help our small business owners. And I know sometimes people don't think of gas station owners as small business owners, but they are. You have employees, you've got staff, you've got payroll to meet, you've got these expenses. And it's something that we can do to help you. And like Trustee Bluthart and Trustee Masek said, I've heard other people in the community say, oh, well, if they fold up, oh, well, let's put a restaurant in right across from the park. That's not how it works. I don't know if they're not familiar with EPA regulations, but you don't just, well, A, I don't want your business to fail, but B, I don't want to bulldoze it because we're not going to be able to put something else there. And like they've all said, we're going to have another vacant lot, which is an eyesore. And Also, I like the convenience. I do see Sam, that's the gas station I go to. Sometimes I don't have time to go to Wisconsin. I don't want to be a community where we have to drive a couple extra miles to get gas. I think it's a necessity in every community. Libertyville has them downtown, Gurnee has them in their downtown. And I know the argument's been made about, what are we going to do to help our retailers? And I want to help our retailers also. I know they're struggling in this economy, but I don't think by passing this that we are hurting the retailers. We're not taking anything away from them. And if they came before us and said, I wanted to do like a champagne and shopping event or something, I think the board would probably be in favor of doing a special event license to promote retail business. So by passing this, I don't think we're doing any harm. I do want to support them too. I think we can do both things together. And I think, I know some other arguments have been made too about, opening floodgates and things like that, but you have a liquor license already. It's a different type. I know that we would be adding the pour feature to it, but I think that we can draw some lines and make distinctions. And lastly, I just wanted to echo Trustee Bluthart too. I've also heard the argument, what about the kids? But like he said, it's everywhere. All the gaming stations are everywhere. And I'm assuming that you'll be responsible enough not to let the kids, be gambling. I would trust that you would. And if not, we'll have a different situation on our hands. So I know it's tough. I know there's arguments for and against, but you're going to have my support again on this.
Madam Chair, I'd just like to remind people that just the same as mentioned by my colleagues here on the board, that these are well-established businesses in our community. Abby had the pleasure of stopping in this past week, has been there 25 years. And so these are long-established businesses. My point of public service has always been one to help, not hurt. And I remind people that the simple fact is, for every dollar spent in our community, 68 cents stays in our community. And what are we talking about here? We're talking about boosting revenue so we don't go back to the households, right? And it's either one of two things. It's either revenue from other streams or it's property taxes. And with that measure and reminded of the simple fact that 68 cents of every dollar stays in our community, you have to be for this. Thank you. That is all.
Thank you. I get the feeling here that it would be unanimous to put this on the agenda for the next meeting.
Yep.
Is that, I have one question for the administrator with this. Would we need a new ordinance? Would we have to amend our ordinances for this?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. So it'd be a different class of pour license, I would imagine.
okay, I'm on
You know,
new
ask the
class,
attorney to
okay,
Expound on that.
okay,
Yes.
all right, okay, that's.
Well said, Jimmy. Thank you.
Are we agreed with, are we agreed this goes on the agenda?
Yes, thank you,
Okay,
everybody.
all right, well then, that's the end of the discussion and the mayor can come back. I'll go get him.
There you go. We're back.
I'll go get him. Actually, I would go get him, but I don't know where he is. I don't know where his office is.
We'd lose our quorum.
Stay there the rest of the meeting, Mary.
No, thanks.
Coffee, not Sharon.
And somebody. Oh, there you are. Great.
Thank you. Must have gabbled them a lot. It was quick.
Mary runs a quick meeting.
All right, on to item number 3 is request from the Antioch Chamber of Commerce for the Taste of Summer to be held June 4th through 7th, 2026. I saw Barbara here earlier. Oh, there she's walking up right now. Thanks.
Thank you for allowing me to speak before you in your new village hall, which is lovely. Last year, the Antioch Chamber looked for a new carnival that had the best safety record possible in the state of Illinois. And we brought Fantasy Amusements to Antioch this year. And our Illinois Department of Labor came out for their inspections as they were setting up, and they were just thrilled with them. They work with them a lot, and they had nothing but high regard for the carnival. Our numbers weren't great this year, and we kept our fingers crossed that they would come back and give us a date for 2026, and they have, and they make it fit for them. They're very successful. They travel the state of Illinois doing the carnivals, and they go from point A to B to C to D. They're not gonna go A to Q, back to D, up to Z. And the date they were able to give us is June 4th through the 7th, which we were happy about because it means our local schools are closed for the year. This year, our schools were still open, but we're very delighted they want to come back. And I'm here tonight to ask permission from the village board to host Antioch's Taste of Summer, June 4th through 7th, 2026.
Questions, discussion?
Question for Katie. Do we have any village events scheduled at that time?
Ed, I'll come back. I keep forgetting. No, no. Ed, did you have anything to add on this?
No, my back hurts too much to think of it.
All right, okay. Trustee Luther.
We do have the summer wine walk currently scheduled for June 6th, I believe, which is the Saturday.
All right. Any other questions? All right, then we'll move this. Do we have to move this for approval, or this is just the blessing?
If I could add, please, I have met with Katie from the Parks about this a few weeks ago to see what we could do to maybe make the wine walk even bigger and better. And the Antioch Chamber will be celebrating America's 250th through the Taste of Summer. So what I told Katie we'd be happy to do is for all of her wine walk participants, when they finish their wine walk, they can come down to the taste and we will give them the good old American hot dog and chips free of charge, just as part of the 250th. And she seemed to be in favor of that.
Yes, I also did offer to change the date at that time. Barbara insisted, no, don't change it. I came up with this. I lost sleep all last night wondering about it. So whatever the board thinks is best.
We normally have sidewalk sales during the Taste of Summer, but it used to be towards the end of July. Sidewalk sales do not work in the beginning of June, so our merchants will not be having sidewalk sales, so the sidewalks will be open and clear.
Thank you. And then the only other thing is the big concert, is that like right the week after usually, or is that?
Yeah,
It's
that'll
not
be
the same week.
It's not the same. It'll be June 11th.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next item is discussion regarding the sale of Delta products by licensees and determining a date by which inventory must be sold. So, Chief Gutschall, I mean, I think this came up as a concern, as you know, and probably in his report. We did put a clause in there that the people could sell their remaining inventory, and somehow they have unlimited inventory. So we're looking for a sunset date.
Yeah, so just as the mayor mentioned, just to recap, so as the board recalls that back in November of 23, the board approved a ban of Delta 9 products, which has subsequently been amended to reflect the Delta drinks, but not to include other Delta products. And we continue to do compliance checks, and one of the ongoing challenges that we have is when we do encounter businesses that do continue to market some of these non-beverage formatted products, their claim to us is when the board approved this, they went and spent a tremendous amount of money to buy a surplus of inventory to continue to allow them to sell. In one example, the business has actually changed hands, and their claim to us is that when they purchased the business, they purchased all existing inventory. Where those records are from the original purchase, who knows? So when the original ordinance was purchased, there was, I believe it was a 30-day window in which they weren't allowed to purchase any additional inventory to sell. So in order to address this issue, if the board wishes to continue the prohibition of non-beverage Delta products, I would respectfully request that we consider or contemplate adding a sunset clause on this entirely of the end of the calendar year 2025 that would outright prohibit the sale of these other formats of the product regardless of claims of existing inventory or not.
Discussion. Trustee Basic?
And that would make sense to put some type of sunset clause on it because they can have an unlimited supply and no way can we check them and violate their Fourth Amendment by asking for receipts. So that makes total sense.
Just a quick question. I know most products have a expiry date or something like that on them. Is there a code on these products of a manufacture date? Because that would be able to allow you to look at those products directly and see when it was made. If it was made after we passed this ordinance, that would be
So,
potentially show you an example of them selling newly made item.
but generally speaking, no. So that was one of the challenges when the board contemplated this ordinance originally is, with most food and drug related products, there's very stringent marketing and labeling requirements imposed upon the manufacturer of these of items. That does not extend to this type of product. I can't say universally that there's not, but it has been one of the things the detectives, when they're doing their compliance checks, have looked for to try to add some rhyme or reason to truly, if these businesses are truly selling them existing inventory as they've represented, or whether or not they just continue to buy and tell us it's existing inventory, and there's no real way to tell based on the packaging itself. It's all over the map with percentages and whatnot. Again, that was part of the reason that the board went down this path in the first place, is because of the safety concerns with an unregulated product that doesn't abide by Food and Drug Administration regulations.
Just a quick question. Can you refresh my memory when we passed the ordinance? Was it about a year ago?
Yeah, so the original ordinance was approved November 29th, 2023. There was a subsequent revision to the ordinance where we went from Delta 9 to the next iteration of that based on the chemical component makeup, but the ordinance itself has broadly been in place since November of 23.
I think they've had sufficient time, and I would agree to a sunset clause on that through the end of the year. Then it's more than ample time to sell whatever merchandise or
That would be
product. Yeah.
Position as well.
And a couple legislative updates. I believe the state of Wisconsin has recently banned some of the vape or like strictly vape or cigarette shops. So we're seeing more and more people contacting our economic development department, trying to open up in Antioch. And hopefully this will be resolved itself. Don't faint when I say this, but I commend JB Pritzker on trying to pass an executive order limiting this. So he's recently gone against both parties, kind of got caught in the lobbyists. They were trying to do this at the Congress level and they couldn't agree. So he's basically, I'll say threatened, but thrown out there that he might issue an order taking care of this for us. So hopefully that happens.
Yes, and the Illinois Chiefs Association is lobbying in favor of that. That would be the ultimate solution, right? Is for the state to step in and impose some authority over this. And relative to your first comment regarding vapes, yes, we do anticipate we're going to continue to see an influx of license applications for vape and tobacco products. So the Wisconsin State Legislature passed a law allowing only FDA-approved vape products to be sold. And out of the hundreds that currently exist on the market, there are only two that currently have the requisite FDA approval. It went through the Wisconsin Supreme Court. They upheld the law. So naturally, folks want to come down here. So there's been just some discussions with the mayor. Again, it'd be a board decision, but considering the potential of looking at a moratorium to stop the expansion of these vape products within the village. Just to allow the administration to cut it off at the pass. It doesn't have to come to the board every time, and we could say there's a moratorium on the issuances or creation of new licenses for vape products for whatever period of time the board determines is reasonable.
All right, thank you. I think we will hopefully at the next meeting or so have an ordinance with a sunset date of end of calendar year. So thank you.
We'll prepare that. Thank you.
Last one is discussion regarding ordinance authorizing and approving credit card acceptance rules and a credit card surcharge or convenience fee for credit card transactions carried out by the Village of Antioch. I believe probably Michael Peterson. Are you presenting this item?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank
I previously brought to the board and we discussed the credit card processing fees being passed along to the users. And I said I would come back with some additional information. And so what I want to mention now is that when we talked about passing along the fees, it wouldn't be the entire fees. State law has limits to some of the fees that can be charged. So under section B, there's item listed that says the lesser of $20 or 5% for a license, sticker, or permit, which is basically if the permit is $400 or less, then yes, the entire fee would be passed along to the user. But if it was over the 400, the village still would be absorbing those costs. It has the lesser of $5 or 5% for a fine, which would be a $100 fine. So if the fine was over $100, again, we would be absorbing costs. And then the lesser of $40 or 3% on other taxes. And it says that would be $1,333. If somebody charged $133 for some type of tax, that would all be paid by the card holder, the user. Anything over that dollar amount, then the village would be absorbing. Something else I should mention to you is that beyond the state laws and regulations, there's also language in there that says that you need to follow the rules of the card. And so Visa has a rule that you cannot charge a convenience fee for a person who makes payment for the utility bill at the counter. So in an in-person payment, they have to be treated the same as a cash customer. But if you were to say that we're not accepting credit cards at the counter for utility bills, we're only accepting it using the online portal, then the convenience fee can be charged. I give you a listing of all the different types of revenue sources that currently could be paid for by credit card. So I just want to be transparent about these are all the different revenues that come in that currently can use credit card. I would be recommending that we eliminate permits for commercial building, site development service, water meter sales for commercial. Again, those being larger dollar amounts. We would be absorbing most of the fee there. So if we eliminate the use of credit card for those types of charges, fees, then there is no cost to us. In the end, I'd have to say, when you're looking at this saying, oh, you're, just putting more tax on a resident and that, I would tell you that honestly, I'm encouraging you to sign up for the auto payment for utility billing. It is the least cost to the village and, no charge to the resident. So yes, there are fees, but you can avoid those fees if you were to sign up for the auto payment. And then this is really the most ideal way to collect money for the village and the least costly way for the village. And it's just the processing time that we spend mailing out, collecting, bank recs, all of that with credit cards is the most costly way of doing business. Any questions?
Questions about this? Trustee Masek?
I got no question. Is there I asked this question, I don't remember if you gave me an answer, if there is a difference between taking a debit card and a credit card.
So no, there is not a difference.
Because Fox Lake Golf Course, they have two different fee charges, one for credit and one for debit. They give you a discount for using debit. It might be the service they're using, I don't know.
I encourage you to pay cash.
For golf?
Thank you. Trustee Bluthart?
Just a quick question. Do we know what percentage of all fees are paid in credit card versus cash currently?
So
Or a rough number?
Yeah, so the rough number I had given previously was 46,000-ish. I think there was another number that came out higher than my number. But my number was mostly based on I believe the utility billing, and I think the other number took into consideration all the other different fees that or all the additional processing charges that came from people's use of credit cards for other revenues.
Maybe ask that a different way. I'm not looking for a dollar amount. I'm looking like if we had 100 transactions, are 60%
Oh.
by a credit card versus 40% cash, or do we have that breakdown?
I believe, yes, we do have the breakdown. Could I bring that to you at the next meeting?
No,
or
you
can I send
definitely
it to you
can.
in
I was
advance?
just curious because
Yep.
I'm just wondering, because you mentioned a lot of fees that we wouldn't be able to recoup. If we were to charge a fee or include that fee in our overall fee, so let's say it was a $25 charge, but we charge 30 now for that, but we offer a cash discount, would that cover all of those credit card fees then if we did it in that fashion? So we're not charging a direct credit card fee, we're charging, our fees would increase obviously to include that credit card fee dollar amount. But what we would offer is if someone paid in cash, a discount. I mean, because our goal is to try to recoup as much of this credit card fees as possible so that we're not taking the hit on these.
So that's where my head's spinning a little bit about the goal. My thinking is the goal is the resident doesn't pay the fee and we don't pay the fee. Sign up for the auto payment. That would be my goal. I'm not trying to say everybody use the credit card and I want to pass along a fee to you. That's not, I wouldn't say that's my goal. That's not really where I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this from the angle of please help us reduce our costs. This is a partnership between us and the residents here, and you can help us by signing up for the auto debit, auto withdrawal program. So I feel like that's my goal if I can stick
I
with
mean,
that.
it can be done the same way where you offer a discount if you sign up for the auto pay or a one-time discount or something like that too, to get people to enroll in it. I know, obviously, we want to make it as, I'm enrolled in the auto pay and it's very simple. It's a done deal and I don't even have to worry about it. So
Right.
that's obviously our goal, like you said, but I'm thinking about all the other fees and everything else that we have out there that wouldn't be, it might be a one-time fee. It's not something they're going to auto enroll in. So those type of fees, if it's a one-time enrollment fee or something else, I'm just throwing it out there. I don't know if it would work or not, if that would make more sense to do it where we offer a cash discount and just build in the coverage of those fees in our cost, but.
Yeah, there's a lot of fees there, right?
Right. No, I know it'd be
we'd have to
difficult.
kind of go through that whole listing and then
Yeah.
try to do that calculation, I guess. But I hear you.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
understand.
whatever makes the most sense, I'm for.
Right.
I just want to, we shouldn't have to cover those costs for people.
Agreed.
If I'm not mistaken, some of this is statutory, obviously, anyway, so we're probably limited. A lot of this is statutory, so we probably are limited by what the statute says we can do on these credit cards based on the ordinance, right?
Yep. So the attorneys made good note that we are able to have rules. I don't know, you're probably going to have a better attorney wording for the rules, like how we go about.
Regulations.
He's on a roll. He's on a roll.
No, but honestly, I think the director makes a good point that there is some delegation of the authority to further limit the rules and the operations and the processes. So trustee, that's an excellent point. Why don't we look back at it? I just want to see how workable it is. I'm sure the director believes the same way. And I think we all share the same vision up here that we want to make it as user friendly, and the ideal way being going to auto pay per what the director said at that point in time.
I found your legal wordings. Adopt reasonable rules. I knew there was something. I knew there was
Lawyers
something
love
there.
the word reasonable.
I know.
Right.
I knew there was something additional in there. So
All right, any questions, trustee?
Yeah, just a practical question. So, for example, if I decided to have a pool party and I go to rent the pool and I don't want the credit card fee, is this me going to parks then and taking personnel time? I'm just curious, like, is that how this logistically works to avoid is there any fear of residents, I don't know, with like wine walk tickets, all that stuff of like bombarding our personnel at all? Is there any thought about that? Like, I think the utilities, permits, all of that is great, but for those online things, if people
Correct.
see the fees, are we gonna have like a lineup outside Katie's office for payments? I don't know the answer.
One moment, please. Put her on hold.
I don't see that being an issue, simply because almost every website that I use, I'm paying a surcharge or a convenience fee, and that's not stopping me. I think I'm pretty average, Antioch citizen. So, I don't see it being a problem. I see maybe getting some, feedback about it. However, if the purpose is to, spread the wealth, so to speak, by having the community pay those fees, and so we're not absorbing them. I think it's a very reasonable way to spread that cost out among folks who are needing it, using the service.
That was it.
Obviously, I'm for this new language. It's very simple. I asked Director Peterson, to look up our ComEd bill for the month of June, July, and August, and it was just shy of $51,000. And so we have needs in this community. We've been up here, had some serious discussion, made some serious hard decisions regarding our $9.3 million capital projects deficit, our $23 million police pension deficit. I hate to say it, if we didn't have needs, we wouldn't follow through with this, but we have needs, and that's why you have to support it.
I completely agree. Yes, we need to support this, and I agree with Katie that when I buy something, the last thing I'm thinking about is the little tiny add-on there that is being passed to me. I'm using the service, I should pay for it. That's how I feel.
All right, thank you. Any other business tonight that we need to talk about? All right, so we have a couple reports to end the evening. We have Assistant Village Administrator Jim Moran first.
Good evening, Mayor, Village Board. It's nice to be here. New building. I wanted to give you guys an update on a couple of our departments. First of all, we're lucky to have Amy here tonight with IT. Amy's been very busy with the police department with their body worn camera initiative. They're in the process of switching over body worn cameras. She's been working with the vendor, and this has been a very time consuming project, especially coupled with everything else that we've been going on with all the IT issues, getting Village Hall set up and running. She's done a great job with that. And also specifically in this boardroom, Amy worked with the vendor, the contractor that got all the AV equipment up and running, and she's making sure our Zoom meeting tonight goes swimmingly, and then she'll train me and Rachel in on how to use it. So thank you, Amy. Amy's also this weekend working on the server migration from the old Village Hall to here. Also our Laserfish system, which is the repository where we document all of our contracts and invoices and all that gets stored in the Laserfish system. So Amy's in the process of migrating all that over. Also working with Director Peterson on the BSNA software conversion for our finance software, which will also impact community development and actually every other department here in the village. That's a really big deal also going on. And also the Lakecom switchover with our police dispatching, that all is happening in the fourth quarter within the next couple of months. So thank you, Amy, for everything that she's been doing. We're also lucky tonight to have Kim Biederman here. Kim handling our village's economic development and business development initiatives. It was yesterday, Kim helped host an event at the Antioch Business Boost Workshop with the Antioch Public Library. It was the first of several events that are happening in the next couple of months. They had Jim Connell from the College of Lake County, who you guys may remember was here a couple of years ago, working with our small business community, offering tips and retail strategies to basically to help them be more profitable. It was a great event, and good job, Kim, getting that up and running. Kim has also been working with our community development department, is really a a liaison for new businesses that are coming to town that need permitting or zoning and construction and that sort of thing. Kim has extensive experience. She's a former planning and zoning board member actually in the community she's from. So it's really helpful to have Kim be a liaison with that in addition to the other economic development work that she's been doing. And with community development, earlier this week, Mark Janik, who you guys approved his contract at last meeting through MGT, he's our interim village planner. He started on Monday and is already making an impact. Him and Sandra are working very well together. They've actually worked together in other communities. And it's been great having him here to be able to help speed things along. One thing in the last month and a half, we've really been intentional at speeding up the process for people that want permits or need zoning reviews or any of that stuff. We're trying to clear a backlog and working with Attorney Vaselli with a lot of our legal questions, and having Mark here now, it's really speeding up the process even more. And one of the things that I find comforting, which I think you guys will also, I've been in other communities where it seems that people, when they get plan reviews or things like that, they almost get excited to deny people things. Here, Mark and Sonda both have the same perspective on customer service as a primary focus in finding a way to help out people, especially if if what they're asking for doesn't quite work with our zoning or our codes. Finding a way to help them kind of tweak things to work, to keep the integrity of our codes while still finding a way to say yes. So it's exciting to work with people like that. And finally, yesterday we had our board meeting for Visit Lake County. As you guys are aware, I sit on the board for the Lake County Convention and Visitors Bureau. This past month, we had our annual luncheon at the Lincolnshire Marriott. Chief Gutchow was there. Kim was there also. It was great to hear our guest speaker, Bill Geist, who is a keynote speaker at a lot of these type of events for convention and visitors bureaus and chambers of commerce, and just talking about how well Lake County is functioning as a convention and visitors bureau and as a visitor destination. Last year, tourism brought $1.9 billion to Lake County. So, we're working every day to help steer some of that this way. And then finally, kind of along those lines, I want to thank Ainsley was in my office earlier this month talking about the Illinois or the United States 250 anniversary, the 250 year anniversary next year. Every state has a state initiative with activities engaging local municipalities around that. So we are now a member of the Illinois 250. We're an Illinois 250 community, which means they'll help promote events that we have going on next year. So along with the chamber, you heard Barbara talk about how her carnival next year will be branded and celebrating the nation's 250th anniversary. We're working, and Katie we haven't really talked yet, but we'll be doing a lot of stuff with the Parks and Recreation and also with our business community with Kim on promoting everything with that. And what's nice is the state will help promote our events. So that will conclude my report.
Questions?
Thank you.
All right, thank you. With that, Katie Parks, and you can tell us how you're going to plan the 250th anniversary events.
Wanting,
Yeah.
wanting everywhere. Oh, I should have planned this. Okay, we're gonna be fine. I gotta start making paper copies. Okay, good evening. Thank you for having me. I wanted to give you an update on the Centennial Park plans that we have going on. On September 12th, we met with Hitchcock for our 50% design development phase of the project. So just to cover some of the basics, the project scope for phase one includes a renovated playground, 2 tennis and or pickleball courts, bag toss, fitness stations, a new shelter pavilion, seating, a looped asphalt walking trail, and native plantings. I was informed at this meeting, and you all, I believe, are aware of this because it was discussed before I started during the grant application process. But that phase two will include the parking lots, restrooms, ball fields, dugout, team benches, spectator seating, and a sensory node, which is a fancy word for a quiet area in the park. The budget, right now they're estimating, our budget going into this was $600,000 from us, $600,000 from OSLAD. The budget right now is at 1.2 approximately, but that is a working number. Don't panic. I'm sorry, it is supposed to be 1.2, but we're at 1.273. So that number fluctuates based on the timing of when all the different quotes and things come in. That also includes $188,000 in contingency and Village of Antioch purchases that we agreed to purchase during the process with going through the grant process with Hitchcock. So the purchases that we will be making that are included in that figure are the playground, the fitness equipment, the shelter, the bag toss, the sport court aesthetic or design, interpretive signage, and a game table. Things that are not included in that number that we will have to budget for in the fiscal year 27 include trash receptacles, tables, benches, things of that nature. It also, they identified our alternate options for consideration. Right now, the project is slated for the engineered wood fiber, wood chips, basically, for the surface of the playground area. If we wanted to do pour in place, which would be what is out at Sequoia Creek Park Playground, that would be a $255,000 alternate. Artificial turf at the fitness stations, if we wanted to put that in instead of the wood chips, would be a $28,000 alternate. If we wanted to do full depth asphalt paving at the sport court, that would be about 8,000. And if we wanted to add ping pong tables under the shelter, it would be about 16 grand. Our next steps are, they sent out an RFP for playground concepts, asking for 2 concepts from each company who decides to submit. One would be with a sort of natural aesthetic. The other would be with a more modern aesthetic. They did a nice job in the RFP explaining the history and the significance of Centennial Park, so that, you know, the folks who are going to be submitting the RFP understand the historical and sentimental value that that park has for our community. Those have a due date of October 3rd here at Village Hall at 4:30. Oh, I wrote those things, but I said them already. Okay. Staff is going to evaluate the budget for additional seating or benches, tables, and trash receptacles to see what we will need to budget for the next fiscal year. And our next meeting with Hitchcock will be the 90% design development review. That'll be around mid-October. At that time, we want to have the design, to finalize the design before moving on to the construction documentation phase. Today, before we move on to other updates I have for you, I wanted to hear your feedback, if you would be so inclined to give it, about tennis courts versus pickleball courts versus combined courts. And if you had any opinions or feelings about the alternates that have been proposed.
Basic. Okay, I saw him come off mute and back on mute.
What?
There you are. Do you have any comments about that?
No, I did not. She did a good job.
All right, Trustee Bluthart?
In response to your questions, definitely pickleball,
Your feeling is pickleball only
pickleball
with
only,
no tennis,
no tennis,
no overlay? Right, okay,
no.
thank you.
And in regards to the overall plan, I know there were some drawings that were presented to us quite a while ago. And you're mentioning final design and everything else. Is the design going to come to the board at any point?
Yes, absolutely. So the final design that I'm talking about is more of what's included in the scope of the project, not necessarily what I think of as a non-building person as design. I'm like, oh, it's going to be so pretty, and these are the colors. You know, that's what I kind of think of, and what it's going to actually look like. The what they kind of approach it as is the elements that are going to be included. So the term doesn't mean the same thing to me as it does to Hitchcock.
Okay. Because the alternatives that you're mentioning, without seeing the design and knowing how that's going to impact, is really hard to give you a
Sure.
definitive yes or no. I mean, a lot of those, I mean, obviously the one that was 200 and some thousand, probably not. But the smaller dollar amounts, if it's going to add to the safety and the use of the facility, probably makes sense. But I'd like to see it all laid out and kind of shown what we're looking at.
Yeah, we only have, we don't have very detailed drawings of what it would look like. Like, for example, if we wanted to consider the ping pong tables under the shelter, you're not gonna be able to see that because it's not a 3D rendering, you know, it's just,
No, I'm more referring like
Bird's
how
eye.
big is the
Yeah.
areas for those
Yeah.
exercise areas, things like that.
yeah,
That type of stuff.
absolutely. And I can get those and have them available next meeting.
Thank you.
I would prefer the pickleball and tennis option. I have a little bit of a bias. My sister coaches at the high school, girls and boys. And so there's not a ton of places for the kids to go hit balls on the weekends. Sometimes I see them at the park by my house, which nobody seems to know exists, Jensen Park, but the tennis courts are really rough there. I mean, the concrete is lipped, they're like trip hazards. And so there's just not a great place for the kids to play. So I would love if we could do a combo where the adults who are into pickleball have an option, but also high schoolers or young adults can play tennis as well if they're on the team or so choose to do so. That's my thought. Thank you.
When we talked about mulch, did rubber mulch? Was
Yes,
that
it's
mentioned?
engineered wood fiber. It's
Okay.
essentially rubber mulch, yeah.
Do we know what the pricing points would be with regards to going either only pickleball, only tennis, or a mixture of both?
There's not a significant price difference. It's essentially drawing one court on the surface or two. The pickleball courts are smaller, and the only real difference would be the type of net that we get. So it would be a net that is a tennis court net, or a net that is a tennis court net that can be adjusted by the user to kind of clamp down so it's lower, and then you know where your boundary lines are since the court is smaller.
I'd be in favor of both.
Okay, thank you.
Would be in favor of both as well.
Okay, thank you. Do you have a, no? Okay, okay, great, thanks. Wonderful. I then wanted to give you some updates. Good news, I think. We had summer camp end since the last time I spoke with you. And it was a great busy summer. Overall, camp enrollment decreased 10% when we looked at it from 2024. That can be attributed to kiddie camp, right? So the preschool aged camp made up for 10% of our camp enrollment in previous years. So if you look at camp registration for school-aged children, so kindergarten and up for the ages that we serve, registration went down by 12%, right? But then if you add in kiddie camp to that number, it looks like it has gone down 19%. But when you compare apples to apples, it comes out to 10% because we ended up adding that bonus week at the end to get families closer to the start of the school year. So that I feel like is a win, considering we didn't have a guide out and wasn't on everyone's radar to get out there and get registered. So I am anticipating that growing. We got a lot of very positive feedback from families, unsolicited emails that were lovely and emotional, and you've made such a difference in our child's lives and our families' lives. So it was a very positive summer at the end for myself and my team. The Aqua Center had a great season. We had a decrease in swim lesson enrollments, 9%, but membership sales went up 14%. That's awesome. Membership sales are where it's at. I'm so excited. So good news for the Aqua Center. And then youth sports classes, their performance was up as well for this summer by 22% from 2024, and cancellations for those classes was reduced by 58%. So that's good news. I'm working with staff to identify classes that are consistently canceling. So they stop taking up room in our guide and we're just advertising classes for no reason if we don't have that market here, so that we can really hone in on programs that our community wants and are registering for. Additionally, last week we had a new program called Antioch Investigates: the Paranormal. And it was so fun. We got an entirely new demographic out to the Parks and Recreation Department to do some fun things. I don't know if you're aware, but there are 7 spirits that live in the White House, and my White House, the Parks and Recreation building. And it was a little bit terrifying and I was scared leaving, but we had a ball. Like, it was so much fun. It was brand new folks who were out there, people I've never seen before, that they're not people that come to concerts, and they're not people that, you know, go to the wine walk and things like that. So it was really nice to engage a part of our community that we don't see very often. And it was lovely and kind of creepy. But this weekend we have the wine walk on Saturday from 12 to 4. Tickets are still available, so long as they remain available and we don't sell out before Saturday. We will sell them at the door as well. Have your IDs if you guys need one. Come, bring me your IDs. And then October 11th, this is very exciting. We're having the downtown ghost tours. We've done this in the past. I don't think we did this in 24. Does that sound right? Did we do it in 24? We did do it? 23. Yeah. So we're back and we're strong. And what is very cool about this year is that we just got approval very recently today to make Village Hall, former Village Hall, one of the locations that we're going to be able to tour our guests. So we're going to bring them to the terrifying basement and to the terrifying jail cells. And our U.S. paranormal research people are going to talk about the investigations that they've done there in the past. And it's just going to be terrifying. So that should be really fun. There's still space available for that if you'd like. We are also starting that off with a sort of like a social at check-in at the Mexican Paradise Cafe for a buffet appetizer and 1 drink ticket. And then we'll have an optional social hour at the lodge at the conclusion of the tour. So I think that'll see some new folks come out as well. And then don't forget, save the date for Treat the Streets and Harvest Fest on October 24th, 25th, 25th, Saturday. Treat the Streets will be from 11 to 1 and Harvest Fest will be from 12 to 4 at the William E. Brooke Entertainment Center. Does anyone have any questions?
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Sorry for the long
Okay.
report.
Dennis?
Evening. Some of the task updates for Public Works, if you've been out and about, you may have noticed some asphalt work's been done. Crews have been out doing patchwork at 12 locations, putting down approximately 22 tons of asphalt, and that work will continue. We postponed it this week as the weather with the rain in the forecast, they're not making it at Payne and Dolan on certain days. So hopefully next week we'll continue that. Well, 6, we've been experiencing some electrical issues. A couple weeks ago that started. We had an electrician come in, do some diagnostics on why when the well would kick on, it would blow the breaker. It appears that we need to pull the well, have the motor and pump looked at, and the electrical power feed that goes from the well house down to the pump and motor. Well 6 is one of 3 wells that are on Toff Street next to the tank. There's 3 wells there inside that building. We have contracted with Cahoy. They are roughly about $19,000 worst case scenario to pull the pump, go through the pump and the motor. Hopefully they're fine and there's a small mechanical failure within the pump that can be repairable. If not, that 19,000 does include replacing the motor that could be faulty. Unfortunately, it is only 5 years old. We did replace it 5 years ago, the full full system with column piping and electrical and pump and motor, but it's out of warranty and we need to pull it again. I received notice that Lake County Public Works has indicated they did a rate study and they're going to be increasing the sewer fees in the eastern area that they collect for us, which is Red Wing View, Deer Crest, Clublands, IDI. It will increase by 6%. We really don't have control over that. But I did let finance know because it is a pass through for us. But I figured I would bring that to your attention. That starts December 1st of 2025. The road program, I mentioned last time that we were out to bid and opening bids. Unfortunately, we did receive 3 bids. The bids came in higher than the engineer's opinion of cost for that project. And usually their estimate is higher than what the bids we receive, at least the lowest responsible bidder. So I decided, along with a recommendation by the engineering consultant, to not do the road program this year, to take those funds and utilize them for next year, creating a bigger road program and hopefully getting out to bid earlier, as early as March or April. And then the program could start in May, hopefully getting favorable prices for the early release of the bids and favorable prices for a much larger road program. We put out the roads to do, I think the engineer's estimate was only like 380,000. The bids came in at like 430 to 460. So with that small of a project this time of the year, it was expected that the pricing would be high, but not what we received. And we were using recent data of communities that did over the summer, so it was pretty accurate information that we were comparing it to. So if you have any problems with that, I would like to proceed as early as I can. Most of it will be MFT. With the completion of the Woods of Antioch, we were putting 400,000 out of capital. We would bring that back to the road program and roughly put out a road program about, I would say, 1.3 million compared to our typical of 1 million. Hopefully no one has any concerns or issues with that decision that was made. Deep Lake Road, Trustee Bluthard, you had asked about the progress on that. Right now, the bids are to be open mid-October. Hopefully they stick with that, Lake County DOT, and then the project would be scheduled to start in 2026, early 2026. As I get more information, I will update the board on that project. The Woods of Antioch restoration should start to occur within that subdivision. Sorry for the delay. I know there's been a lot of cones there and holes along the curb, but there will be a crew in there, black dirting and seeding, and that project will then be fully complete. I mentioned briefly about the landscaping at the new park, and I think some of the trustees had asked about it and the warranty work. Breezy Hill did get back to me today. I met with them a few weeks ago, and we walked the park, and they were starting to create a punch list that they would follow for the replacement of the warranty items that had died off or need to be replaced. They're currently starting their fall dig, which they'll be pulling specific plants out, not just for the park, but their business alone. So with that starting, they're going to be looking to schedule a crew to come into the park and do replacements there. I will let you know the Christmas tree was brought up when I met with them, and they did confirm it in email that they are locating a tree to replace there. So I will try and gather an estimated time because we had Christmas lights scheduled to go in there on October 6th. Hopefully it'll be this fall, but I would prefer they find the right tree rather than just pick one. So further discussions on that. And that's all I have unless you have any questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I do not have any requests for executive session, so ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion trustee Peterson, second trustee Bluthart. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned at 8:12.